to Congress after a late-night effort to get rid of an independent ethics board. Their first order of business, the fallout tonight, and the big headline involving the Bushes and the Clintons and the inauguration. The deadly twisters were on the scene tonight. At least a dozen tornadoes reported, and now heavy snow and freezing rain moving into the Northeast. The urgent manhunt at this hour for an escaped prisoner, considered armed and dangerous, searching across several states. The airport nightmare, thousands of passengers trapped for hours coast to coast, computers crashing, and tonight we now know why. And the toddler who survives this stressor falling on top of him, his 2-year-old twin there lifting it off. Their mother and the 2 boys right here tonight.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to be back with you after the new year. And we begin tonight with the new Congress. Republicans in control of both the House and the Senate, and soon a new Republican president. But it was the president-elect whose voice was heard today, or at least his tweet. Mr. Trump weighing in after a late-night move by Republican members of Congress to try and dismantle an ethics board that worked independently to oversee Congress. It happened under the radar, a closed-door meeting. It made big news today, and Mr. Trump, who becomes president in just 17 days, sent a clear message to his fellow Republicans, and they listened. ABC's Mary Bruce leads us off from Capitol Hill.
Tonight, Donald Trump urging Republicans to fall in line with his campaign promise to change Washington.
It's called Drain the Swamp. We are going to drain the swamp.
But late last night, behind closed doors, more of the same. House Republicans gutting the Office of Congressional Ethics, created to ensure they play by the rules. Defying their own leaders, members tried to strip the office of its independence and remove its ability to issue public statements and investigate anonymous complaints. Democrats were swift to respond. Nancy Pelosi tweeting, "So much for draining the swamp." On GMA this morning, Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway defending the move.
We don't want people mired in months, if not years, of ethical complaint reviews.
But 3 hours later, a very different message from Trump himself via tweet. With all that Congress has to work on, do they really have to make the weakening of the independent ethics watchdog, as unfair as it may be, their #1 act and priority? Focus on tax reform, health care, and so many other things of far greater importance. Now under pressure, Republican lawmakers scrambling to respond, holding a last-minute meeting.
Why change these rules right now?
Let's see what happens in this meeting.
30 minutes later, an about-face, a unanimous decision to delay.
The president-elect is criticizing this move. Did that play any role in the decision today?
Yes, it animated the press.
And the speaker, we tried to ask, but he wouldn't bite.
Mr. Speaker, what do you make of the delay of the ethics vote?
You know me, I don't walk and talk.
The episode overshadowing what was supposed to be a triumphant day, a new Republican Congress sworn in to work with the incoming Republican president.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is the kind of thing that most of us only dreamed about.
Their to-do list ambitious, confirming Trump's cabinet picks, filling out the Supreme Court, and their top priority, getting rid of Obamacare. Also a top campaign promise of the president-elect, renewing that pledge at his glitzy New Year's Eve bash at Mar-a-Lago.
We're going to get rid of Obamacare because...
Congress has already voted more than 60 times to repeal Obamacare, but they still have no clear plan to replace it or what to do about the 20 million Americans who rely on it for health care coverage. But tonight in the Senate, the first step to repeal Obamacare has already begun.
Mary Bruce with us live on Capitol Hill tonight. And Mary, the swearing in behind you there in just 17 days. And tonight we're learning who will be standing there witnessing it.
David, we've learned that Bill and Hillary Clinton and George W. Bush will all be here for the inauguration. One of the last times we saw Bill and Hillary Clinton together was them smiling on Election Day. But then, David, of course, that stunning defeat. George W. Bush famously did not endorse during this election, but they all know what it's like to be in office. And they'll all know what it will be like for Hillary Clinton to sit there, how difficult it will be for her to watch Donald Trump be sworn in as the 45th president of the United States.
A lot of eyes on the president-elect and a lot of eyes on everyone standing around him, too. All right, Mary, thank you. The president-elect not only sending that message to Republican members of Congress today, he sent a message to another American automaker, to GM, about making cars in Mexico, and he warned about tariffs. It came on the same day that Ford revealed it will no longer build a new factory in Mexico. Cheers and applause from workers at a Ford plant in Michigan when they heard the news. But we wondered, was it because of the president-elect, or are American automakers feeling the heat? Was it good business not to open that plant? ABC's chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis takes those questions straight to the CEO of Ford.
Tonight, Trump focused on two American automakers. The president-elect calling out General Motors this morning on Twitter, claiming the company makes its Chevy Cruze in Mexico and sells it here. Warning, make in USA or pay big border tax. GM shares immediately dropping before rebounding. The company pushing back that all Chevrolet Cruze sedans sold in the U.S. are built in GM's assembly plant in Lordstown, Ohio, adding a small number of Mexican-made Cruze hatchbacks are sold here. Meantime, Trump sharing a positive call today with Ford about its future after challenging the carmaker on the campaign trail.
And then Ford just 2 weeks ago announcing their small cars are going to be produced and made entirely in Mexico.
Ford today revealing it is scrapping plans to build that plant in Mexico. But not just because of Trump, says Ford CEO.
We've seen a pretty dramatic decline in demand for small vehicles in North America.
In addition, Ford announcing it will create 700 new jobs here in the U.S. for new electric and self-driving cars. Was this because of Trump?
We didn't have any direct negotiations.
Did you feel any pressure from President-elect Donald Trump to make this decision?
We look at a lot of different factors, and one of the factors that we're looking at is our view is that there's going to be a more positive business environment for U.S. manufacturing under President-elect Trump.
A lot of people celebrating those 700 new jobs, but we also want to ask about small car production in Mexico. Ford's going to continue doing that and perhaps add even more jobs.
That's right. Ford will be moving production of the new Ford Focus to its Mexico plant, a pre-existing plant where they'll add 200 jobs, and the CEO guaranteeing me it will not cost any jobs here in the United States.
All right, important questions for the CEO. Rebecca, thank you. We move on to other news tonight, into heavy rain snarling the evening commute for millions this evening in the Northeast. This, of course, comes after deadly tornadoes and severe storms across the South. Along the Alabama coast, look at this, a terrifying drive, straight-line winds up to 80 miles an hour. An EF2 tornado in Mount Olive, Mississippi, mowing down trees and so many homes. This home twisted into rubble. And now an Arctic blast on the way for much of this country. ABC's Adrian Bankert in Alabama tonight.
Tonight, the Deep South reeling from deadly storms, leaving that trail of destruction in Mississippi, one of at least 12 reported tornadoes in 3 states. In Gulf Shores, Alabama,
we're in a tornado right now.
Justin Camp and his co-worker thought they were in a tornado.
Dear Lord, please be with us, Lord.
But these were 80-mile-an-hour straight-line winds, battering their vehicle as they raced to safety.
Should we go inside?
In metro Atlanta, Kiera Manson and 4 family members thankful no one was hurt when this tree shattered their home before dawn.
We have an upstairs. It's basically an upstairs, but now it's a downstairs today.
But in Rehoboth, Alabama, tragedy struck when a tree crashed into this mobile home. 4 women inside lost their lives. J.P. Kelly lives next door.
Just all of a sudden, a real violent shaking. It felt like of the house and the roof.
In all, at least 5 killed in the region. Behind us is the Kelly farm. The sheriff telling us that those 4 women who died did exactly what they were supposed to, running to take cover in a bathroom. Tragically, that huge tree fell directly on top of them. David?
Horrible story there, Adrian Bankert. Our thanks to you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee. She's live along the West Side Highway here in Manhattan tonight, tracking trouble spots really across the country. Hey, Ginger.
Hey there, David. The trouble spots begin here and move to the north, where it will be freezing rain, the snow, the sleet mixing in along that stationary front, and then our attention turns to the northern plains. North Dakota, South Dakota, the wind chill warnings now for 40 to 45 below zero. That means frostbite can occur in 10 minutes when you're exposed to that. The numbers in Chicago, 5 below by Wednesday morning, and by Thursday, it'll feel like 4 in Buffalo and sub-zero in Amarillo. One more headline would be that western storm. The Sierra could see up to 4 feet of snow. So many people in the middle of winter. Meanwhile, Orlando today tied a record at 86, David.
All right. Well, let's head to Orlando. Ginger Zee with us tonight. Ginger, thank you. We move on next this evening to new reporting here. After thousands of travelers were trapped for hours at airports coast to coast, Customs and Border Control computers went down last night, causing long lines like these at Miami International, missed flights as well. And the ripple effect lasted well into today. Passengers waiting for flights. ABC's Gio Benitez tonight on what officials now say caused those computers to crash.
Airports and airlines still working to recover today from the nationwide crash of customs computers.
Air conditioning!
In Miami, some 8,000 passengers stuck at customs through the night. Emergency personnel treating more than half a dozen people.
There's thousands and thousands of people, hot, sweaty, no water. Yeah, there was people puking everywhere.
At that airport alone, 2,000 missed connections during the 4-hour outage on one of the busiest travel days of the year. In Atlanta, epic lines stretched through terminals. Scenes repeated in more than 20 major airports.
We're just trying to get home, and it's been a long flight, 6-hour flight, and then you stay in line for almost 2 hours, and it's ridiculous.
Officials now telling ABC News the nightmare was caused by the failure of a software update, not a malicious attack.
So many families trapped in line, and we saw people getting sick there too, Gio. A lot of people are going to be wondering, isn't there a backup system of some sort when these computers go down? Did they really have to wait hours and hours and miss flights here?
Yeah, David, you know, there is a backup. It has access to the terror watch list, and it was used last night, but we're told it's very, very slow, and that raises concerns about how fragile this whole system can be.
All right.
David.
Gio Benitez live at JFK Airport for us. Gio, thank you. Next tonight, a multi-state manhunt is underway after a brazen New Year's Eve prison escape. That federal inmate tracked from Rhode Island into Massachusetts now. Authorities investigating how he broke free and why it took so long for authorities to even notice. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
A federal manhunt is intensifying tonight for 35-year-old James Morales, who escaped from a maximum security ward at a federal detention center in Rhode Island New Year's Eve.
Mr. Morales has the potential to be dangerous and could be armed.
Morales, who has a large tattoo of an eagle on his neck, faces charges for sexual assault of a child and for stealing 16 guns from an Army Reserve Center. Officials say he climbed a basketball hoop to get to a rooftop, then cut through a fence and climbed through razor wire, injuring himself. A canine unit then tracked his scent to the Rhode Island-Massachusetts state line, where police say they found bloody prison clothing. On Monday, Massachusetts State Police say they found a stolen car in Framingham, where Morales reportedly knocked on a door looking for an ex-girlfriend.
I have children of my own, and I heard the charges that he had, so I was very scared for me and my children.
2 officers are now on paid leave as authorities investigate just how Morales managed to escape. David.
Lindsay, thank you. Overseas tonight, chilling new images coming in from that New Year's massacre at a nightclub in Turkey. Authorities there releasing this video taken by the alleged suspect of himself before the attack. And this evening, you'll see right here how investigators are now tracing his steps before and after the attack using surveillance. Here's ABC's Alex Marquardt in Istanbul.
Tonight, new video of the suspect in an Istanbul grocery store 10 hours before the attack. As that manhunt intensifies, authorities poring over these images. 2 minutes before midnight, the person they believe is the suspect is seen smoking a cigarette and getting into a taxi with a large backpack, possibly containing the stun grenades that police sources tell us the shooter used, as well as the automatic rifle that fired around 150 rounds in just 7 minutes. Shooting and moving in a way that indicates the attacker likely had weapons training, fueling reports that he fought with ISIS in Syria. He took off his coat. Then he grabbed another taxi and went a short distance before getting out. Tonight, sources tell us the shooter could be from Kyrgyzstan. He arrived in Turkey with his wife and 2 children in mid-November. Last month, seen entering a bus station. Then, 4 days before the attack, he traveled from central Turkey to Istanbul, where that chilling selfie video was shot in a book fair in one of Istanbul's most famous squares.
Turkish authorities have arrested 16 people so far. They say they have the attacker's name, his fingerprints, and are close to getting him. But if he has fought in Syria, there's a worry tonight he may be trying to escape back there. David?
Alex Marquardt in Turkey again for us tonight. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The urgent warning for parents, that frightening accident in the home, the toddler who survives this dresser falling on top of him there, his 2-year-old twin then lifting it off. Their mother and the boys right here tonight. She has a message for everyone. Also, a breaking development coming in this evening involving Charles Manson. And we all saw that photo last week, a young Carrie Fisher there watching her mother Debbie Reynolds on stage. The story we had not heard from the family until now. That's coming up.
When you have digestive sensitivities, life can feel like a never-ending search for food that won't cause bloating, gas, or inner turmoil. Introducing ProNourish, a delicious nutritional drink that makes a great mini meal or snack that has protein and fiber. And ProNourish has no gluten or high fructose corn syrup, and is low in FODMAP ingredients that can trigger digestive sensitivities. The search is over. New ProNourish, nutrition you can feel good about.
As soon as I left the hospital after a DVT blood clot, I sure had a lot to think about. What about the people I care about, including this little girl? And what if this happened again? I was given warfarin in the hospital, but wondered, was this the best treatment for me? So I asked my doctor, and he recommended Eliquis. Eliquis treats DVT and PE